want it?
What's up, YouTube? This your boy Maze, and this is my channel, Maze Creation.
Amazing!
Welcome to my channel, and if you can please use that thumb to like, use that pinky to subscribe. I always like to say, a like a day, keep the bill collectors away. So let's go ahead and jump right into it.
Spent 16 years in prison after being wrongly convicted of rape. His accuser, a best-selling author, is now apologizing, saying she's truly sorry. But how do you undo such a life-altering mistake?
How? Throw that bitch in jail and make her pay a percentage to the victim, because he is a victim and he deserves compensation.
Here's Les Trent.
Tears of joy as a man wrongly accused of rape is exonerated after spending 16 years in prison. Anthony Broadwater, now 61 years old, broke down in tears when he heard the judge throw out the conviction.
Mr. Broadwater cannot get those 16 years back.
His accuser was Alice Sebold, author of The Lovely Bones, which was made into a major movie starring Mark Wahlberg.
It's gonna be okay. My dad knows I'm here.
Her rape at age 18 took place when she was a college student in upstate New York, years before she became famous. Sebold says it happened here in this 76-acre park overlooking Syracuse University, where she was a freshman. Months went by and there was no arrest. Then, one day, Alice Sebold was walking down this street, and she says she came face to face with the man who attacked her. It was Anthony Broadwater. He was found guilty after Sebold took the stand and identified him as her rapist.
The people that knew me and know my character, they know that wasn't me.
Doubts about his guilt were raised when movie producer Timothy Mucciante started investigating the story as he prepared to make a movie based on Sebold's memoir about the rape called Lucky.
Anyone who reads the transcript of the trial and compares it to her book, there's quite a lot that's omitted that a reader would look at and say, you know, this doesn't add up, just like I did.
Sebold, now 58 years old, had nothing to say as she walked her dog in San Francisco, where she lives.
Anything to say to Anthony Broadwater?
But on Tuesday, she issued a public apology to Broadwater in which she acknowledged he had been wrongly accused. I am sorry most of all for the fact that the life you could have led was unjustly robbed from you, and I know that no apology can change what happened to you and never will. What do you think of that apology?
If it's sincerely from my heart, I can accept it.
The publisher of Lucky says it has ceased publication until they decide if the book can be properly revised.
This hit me really hard, man. This subject doesn't get talked about enough. Females out here really giving false allegations of you know what, and they just don't have no repercussions. If a woman lies about being, you know, and she should really go to jail. She should do half the time that the man would have done. We really got to stop this. The law, society is way too easy on women. It's too easy for them to just lie, and this happens so often, more than people would like to talk about. This stuff happens way too often, more times than not, and it's always they give the women the benefit of the doubt, but women lie just as much as men do, and it's not talked about enough.
Yeah, because at first she didn't want to correct her book after all that. Man, that's crazy. Man, that is crazy. I can't even, No, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to tell you this. I'm not even going to talk about the lady. But the dude that got out and was like, I accept your apologies. I got way too much work to do on myself still to be at the same level of that dude. I don't know what happened in prison, but if I'm claiming my innocence for 16 years and I get out and I get a thank you and a sorry and a pat on the back and onto my way, I know for a fact I'm gonna need a whole lot of counseling, because the anger that's gonna come out of that. Bro, I got anger now that I still gotta deal with from the past. And that stuff didn't happen to me. I'm coming out after 16 years. Finally, it is a relief. It is a relief. But that time you lost everything. There's no way for you to get it back. No way. You can't get your work back. You can't get your livelihood. Some family fucking distance themselves from you. Some friends. Oof. No, there's too much anger. Like right now I'm watching this story and it's not happening to me and I'm angry. So if it had happened to me, I don't even know what I would have done.
Yeah, there's a phenomenon that happens to people who get sent to prison unjustly and spend lots of time there. And a lot of them come out very forgiving generally when they're out of prison. And people can't understand it because they're saying, if it was me, I'd feel this way or I'd feel that way. But you don't know what it feels like to have 16, 20 years of your life robbed and stuck in a cell. You don't know. So you don't know what goes through your mind. I can assure you that from what I read up on, what all of them seem to say is like initially I was just angry and I was in disbelief. There was a lot of denial. Like, I'm going to get out of here. I know I didn't do this. They're going to fix this. And as that realization sets in, you understand how unjustly done you are. Then that anger sets in, right? And you got a lot of rage. But the thing about anger and rage is that when you're in a cell and all you have is time alone with your own thoughts, it's very hard to be angry for decades and decades. It's hard, because that shit'll kill you. That'll end your life early. So for a lot of them, forgiveness is also a means of survival. It's a way for them to be able to be good with themselves. And so when I hear what this man has to say, I think it's unbelievably wonderful that he's able to find that, not for her, but for himself. Because to hold on to that anger and that grudge, bruh, that shit'll tense up your whole body. That shit'll age you fast. Resentment will age you fast. And so I'm happy for him so that he could move forward with his life. And I hope he gets the restitution he deserves. They stole 16 years of his life. And I think the kind of character that he displayed, I respect a lot. It's something I want to be able to emulate. Now, that being said, if I encounter the woman who accused me when I was in the military, I would Superman punch her in the face. Me personally. Forgiveness is fantastic. I ain't there yet. If I see that woman, I hope I get to drop kick her. I'm not gonna lie to you. Test me. But I hope I can get to the place where he's at. Good on him. Secondly, for the lady, that little apology note that she wrote, I'm sorry that 16 years of your life were robbed from you. Bitch, you robbed him. It's not like somebody else did that. You identified him, you got on the stand, and you said it's definitely him. And then you wrote a book. And like, listen, sometimes people misremember stuff, trauma. Like, I could justify a lot if I was to give you a lot of leeway. Then you write a book and omit a bunch of details that might have actually shown his innocence, meaning you knew to not put that shit in because you knew it didn't make your story credible. Now I got a problem. Unfortunately, we exist in a world where people can make false allegations against people. They can say whatever they want, and the kind of repercussions they face are minimal, minuscule. And folks are just supposed to accept that, hey man, this is the way justice system works. You know, sometimes people go to jail and you can be lying or omitting facts or being extremely disingenuous or all this stuff, and no one's going to be held accountable. Maybe the state pays out some tax dollars. So the taxpayers have to pay for it. To me, that's wrong. That's where my disappointment in this whole thing lies. But as for the man, I'm happy for him if he really is in that place that he claims to be, and I respect that.
Nigga, I told you I was pissed off now. Like I said, I wish I was at this point. I wish I had what he has. I wish I was at that moment, that point in my life where I could do what he did. Because to me, it's phenomenal.
Do you remember years ago when we used to cover these stories, how angry and yelling I would be?
You remember how angry and yelling I would be?
Back then, you weren't as mad. You weren't. I would lose my mind over stories like this, right? Why? Because that's very tender for me.
Yeah.
And so, knowing that I'm here today much more chill about things because I've had to let a lot of shit go. And I'm telling you, that shit ages you. And you sit there with resentment. It keeps you up at night. You can't hold on to that forever. You gotta let that shit go.
I know. But there's a lot of, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
But there's
But that's me. That's just what helped
I know,
me.
and I know what you're saying. There's a lot of shit that, I'm working on some shit. But,
Shout out to Aberrant Priest for bringing light to this. I mean, they actually have a platform. I got like 1, maybe 2 viewers. They got 1 million. So I'm glad they were able to put this out there. I have a lot of respect for them guys. But man, this really touched hard on my heart, man. Like, it pisses me off the type of society we live in where women can sit here and just make false allegations, especially a white woman on a black man. Like, it's really sad and pathetic, man, that we care so little about the opinion of a man over a woman, that you can ruin a man's entire life and there's nothing you can do. This happens all the time, all around the country. Just because a woman says she was vaped doesn't mean she was, man. And I'm not saying that women don't get vaped. All I'm saying is there should be a lot more evidence and there should be a lot more due diligence on the police department's part before they just throw an innocent man in jail. Because the saying goes, it's better to have 100 guilty men go free than to let 1 innocent man be put in prison. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's just sick, man, and it's sad. This is the world we live in. I feel so sorry for this dude, and I really wish and hope that this woman has to pay out of pocket and lose everything that she owns, and my man gets justice. But enough will never be enough. No matter what she does or what happens to her, he will never get that 16 years of his life back. We really need to have a change in the justice system, but I know nothing will ever change. We got to fight back somehow. But, that's all I have to say. That's the end of this video. Alright, so we're going to end the video right there. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to put your thumb on the like button, put your pinky on the subscribe, bop it, pull it, twist it, do whatever you got to do to support the content. And remember, I'm amazing, you're amazing, and we do amazing things when we together. Peace.